All right, today we're jumping right into something that's, well, it's pretty sensitive but absolutely crucial: welding ductile iron pipe. This is a process where precision isn't just a good idea, it's everything. And we're going to break down exactly how to get it right. So where are we heading with this? First, we've got to understand what ductile iron even is. Then, we'll get into why it's so tricky to weld. After that, we'll cover the prep work, which is super important, before walking through the actual welding process. And of course, we'll finish up by looking at the common pitfalls, so you know what to avoid.
Okay, first things first, we have to start with the material itself. Before you can even dream of striking an arc, you really need to get a handle on what ductile iron is and what makes it so unique. Trust me, it's not just any old piece of metal.
So what is it? Think of ductile iron as cast iron's upgraded high-performance cousin. The real magic ingredient here is magnesium. When you add it in, it changes the whole internal structure, creating these little round nodules of graphite. And that is what gives it its awesome strength and flexibility, its ductility.
And this chart really shows you what we're up against. See, with steel, everything's nice and orderly, a homogeneous structure. That's why it's relatively easy to weld. But look at ductile iron and cast iron. They've got these graphite structures inside, nodules for ductile, flakes for cast. And those little interruptions in the metal are the exact reason welding them is so challenging. It means you can't just use a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay, so that structure is the root of the problem. But what does that mean in practice? Why exactly does this whole process demand so much precision? Let's dig into that. Really, it boils down to a few key things. First, you've got a really high carbon content, and high carbon means a higher risk of cracking. Then you've got these graphite nodules we just talked about, which create their own unique set of problems. And on top of all that, you're dealing with massive thermal expansion and contraction when you weld. You heat it up, it expands. It cools down, it shrinks. All that movement creates a ton of stress. So yeah, you absolutely need special techniques and the right materials, or it's just not going to work.
So, knowing all those challenges, how do you actually manage them? How do you get a successful weld? Well, the truth is, a huge part of the battle is won before you even strike an arc. It's all in the preparation. Getting this part right is everything.
And here they are, the 5 essential steps for prep. Think of this as your non-negotiable checklist. You've got to select the right process, get that surface sparkling clean, preheat the material, we'll talk more about that, get your equipment set up just right, and even have a plan for what you're going to do after the weld. Seriously, skip any one of these and you're just rolling the dice.
All right, with all that prep out of the way, it's time to get to the main event, the welding process itself. Let's break down how it's actually done.
Generally, you've got 3 common methods to choose from. You've got SMAW, or shielded metal arc welding. That's kind of your versatile workhorse. Then there's GMAW, or MIG welding, which is great for thinner stuff and can be pretty fast. And finally, you have GTAW, or TIG. TIG gives you incredible control, so it's perfect for when the quality has to be absolutely top-notch. But regardless of which of those methods you choose, SMA, MIG, or TIG, the fundamental procedure is always going to follow these 4 stages: preparation, setup, the weld itself, and then inspection and treatment.
So, step 1 is prep. And honestly, you can't overstate this. The pipe surface has to be perfectly surgically clean. We're talking 0 rust, 0 oil, 0 anything. Any little bit of contamination that gets trapped in there is a potential failure point. It will absolutely compromise the weld.
Now, this right here is maybe one of the most critical parts of the whole thing, the preheat. You have to get the pipe up to between 300 and 500 degrees Fahrenheit before you start. Why? Because it slows down the cooling rate after you're done welding. That slow cooling is what prevents the metal from getting brittle and cracking. Don't skip this. Don't gas. Get it right.
Okay, step 2, the setup. This is all about precision. You need to choose a filler material, a rod or a wire that is specifically designed to be compatible with ductile iron. This isn't a place to just grab whatever's lying around. If the filler isn't compatible, the joint will be weak. Period. And of course, you have to set your machine's voltage and current to match that filler and the job you're doing.
Step 3 is the weld itself. Time to lay that bead. The name of the game here is consistency. Make sure the ends of the pipe are aligned perfectly. Then, when you start welding, your travel speed, your angle, everything has to be as consistent as possible. A uniform technique is what gives you a uniform, strong weld. And you're not done when the welding stops. Step 4 is inspection and treatment. First, you have to visually inspect that weld for any defects, any cracks, any undercut, anything. Then comes the post-weld heat treatment. This is just as important as the preheat. It lets all the stress that built up during the welding process relax, making the final joint much more durable.
So knowing how to do it right is one thing, but it's just as important to know what can go wrong. Let's talk about the common pitfalls and, more importantly, how to sidestep them.
So, what are the big traps people fall into? What are the challenges that you're most likely to face when you're welding ductile iron? Let's break them down.
If you look at this table, you'll start to see a theme. Cracking and hardness, that comes from the high carbon content. The thermal expansion stress, that's from the heating and cooling we talked about. But look at the other two, improper filler material and the wrong temperature. Those are directly tied back to preparation and setup. See? Each of these challenges has a cause we can actually control.
And this really hammers the point home. When you're welding ductile iron, any little imperfection, any tiny mistake can lead to a crack or a fracture down the line. There is just no margin for error. It has to be done right.
So to wrap this all up, I want you to think about this. We've walked through the whole process, from cleaning the pipe all the way to that final post-weld heat treatment. Now that you've seen it all, which one of those steps do you think is the one that gets overlooked the most often in the real world? And what happens when it does? It really brings it all back to one thing. Precision at every single stage is what separates a successful weld from a critical failure.